The digital pollution, especially in a real estate agent's world, is one of the biggest productivity killers, time sucks that there is.
Agent Power Huddle is a daily jumpstart, giving you all the tools you need to create an amazing real estate career. Led by top experts in the field, you'll learn how to sell more houses in less time while creating the life you want. Welcome to the Agent Power Huddle.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing today?
Okay, who is that? All I see is Keys from Lori Park. What's your first name?
Lori Macaluso.
Hi.
Lori Allen Macaluso.
Your energy is fantastic.
You know what's funny? Every time Agent Power Huddle starts, I always feel like it's a Monday morning. Like, let's do this. You know, like it's like Monday morning every day when I light it out here.
Well, let's absolutely do this.
I love this.
Today, we're going to talk about digital pollution, what it is, and how in the world are we going to overcome this? Because I can tell you the digital pollution, especially in a real estate agent's world, is one of the biggest productivity killers, time sucks that there is. And so I feel it's an important subject that we should handle and talk about. And before I get going, I want to introduce my co-host, Katrina. Hi, you guys. Where are you?
So I am in San Francisco Bay Area, Oakland, San Leandro to be exact. I am a real estate and mortgage broker and super excited to go over this topic with Jenn today. This is something that is like a nemesis in my life that I've slowly overcome. So excited to share.
Yes. So digital pollution is a huge nemesis in my life. I will freely admit that. And it's a subject that I'm sort of passionate about. So I want to give a big thank you to Katrina. She's trying to get my brain organized on this by creating an outline. However, I'm going to be able to follow it, but I'm going to do my best. Then we got digital pollution. We're not talking about carbon emissions. We are literally talking about, how the emails that we get every day affect our life, how we manage that, and how we compare ourselves to others, opening up social media, the rabbit holes that we fall into. That is what digital pollution truly is. And it really does take away from our ability to thrive in this business. I also think that digital pollution affects our self-confidence as we compare ourselves to other agents. I just went blank. No, I have like 50 sheets of paper in front of me to go over, and I think that's the problem instead of just talking. Understanding the effects. So, as I've already said, digital pollution is how we spend our days. What does every agent do? They jump on their email first thing in the morning. They probably jump on their email 20 times a day. And it just takes away your ability to produce. So the term digital pollution, I first heard it from a speaker called Melissa Gracias. I think it was on a previous slide.
Yep.
She was on the like home light podcast or something like that. And everything that she said really resonated with myself and my business. So if you have time to look her up and listen to her time management podcast, it's really something that I think everybody should listen to. Have you ever heard that term, what you focus on expands?
Absolutely.
So if you get up in the morning and you go to the gym, what's going to happen over time? You're focusing on your body. You're focusing on your health. Over time, you are going to start looking better. You're going to start feeling better. But on the flip side of that, if you jump on to social media in the morning and you're focusing, which we have to do as agents, right? Because we have to be relevant. So what we do in the morning, especially if you're doing, your 10 video calls a day, is you jump on to social media and you see what is happening in everybody's life, which is great. If you can time manage that, put it into a block and write down what's happening on in Sally Sue's life, and then send out your daily video, right? But what happens is instead is that we see Sally Sue's video on her kids' softball championship, and we write that down, and then we see a reel, and we hit the reel, and the next thing you know, you're going down the rabbit hole, and we've lost an hour, maybe two, of productivity, and you didn't get your video calls out. And then the next thing you know is you saw, this incredible TikTok agent, and you love their stuff, and then your brain goes to, oh my gosh, this agent is so great with TikTok, or this agent's so great with YouTube. I need to implement that into my business. And now you've lost focus on your 10 video calls a day, and you are 2 hours down the rabbit hole. Is that everybody agree? I mean, I know everybody's better. I do it. I'm trying to get better at managing the time. So that's basically what digital pollution is. It is quite literally the things that come into our life in our modern day that really affect our productivity. I've said this like a million times. So, how to fight the distractions? Well, I want to say that fighting the distractions can be pretty hard, especially, I think, with real estate agents, because a lot of us aren't necessarily disciplined, right?
I'm not just talking about, Jen.
How many people, and I can't see the chat, but how many people have sticky notes and they write something down and they stick it on their computer or they stick it on the wall? And I see Julie. Yes. How many of us have to-do lists, and we get up in the morning and we write the to-do list? And then how many of us have calendars, right? And then I guarantee that 90% of the agents on this call and that watch this in the future will tell you that they have all three or more. And so what happens is you're writing down your sticky notes, you're writing down your to-do list, and you're not on a schedule. So I'm going to give you a little piece of advice that I'm trying to implement to my business, and that is, let's put it all into one place and one place only. Let's simplify. Because what is physically in front of you is what your brain will focus on. So if you have a sticky note and you jump onto your sticky note, everything that's on that sticky note, you are going to go completely into. If you see a to-do list, everything on that, you're going to go completely into. But if you don't have it time blocked, you're not going to get through your entire day. So sticky notes, paper stacks, what's on your calendar, let's try to get it all into one place. I mean, money-making activities, right? If you jump on and you say, I need to go to social media, I need to do at least 10, I need to find 10 things to send video texts on, and you run down that rabbit hole, you could completely miss the CMA that you need to have done and printed so that you can go to a listing appointment tomorrow. So let's try to pull our tasks into one system. The other thing that is really good is time management. So as you put it onto your calendar, remember there are things like, how do you say that word, Katrina? The Pomodoro? Pomodoro.
Oh, the Pomodoro technique.
Yeah. So,
I have to share something about that.
yeah.
So the Pomodoro technique, I know a lot of us might have heard of like using a kitchen timer, or there are actual Pomodoro timers. And let me back up for those who don't know what the Pomodoro technique is.
So fast.
It is a form of time blocking where a full Pomodoro is 2 hours, but it is broken up into 4 30-minute increments. And the way that works is you work for 25 minutes, you take a break for 5 minutes. You work for 25, 5, 25, 5, 25, 5. And so an actual Pomodoro timer will do that for you. You set it, it gives you, it ticks down the time until that 25 minutes is over, and then you do a 5 minute and it gives you a reminder. What I do is Alexa, for those of you guys who have an Alexa device, I use an Alexa skill called Tomato Helper. And if you say, Alexa, start Tomato Helper, it will say Pomodoro number 1, beginning, and it'll tick down to 25 minutes. And then at 25, it'll stop. It'll say, take a 5-minute break. It is my lifesaver. It is how I was able to finally implement that and not have something else that I had to manually start. Because if I have to manually start it, it's not going to happen.
I agree. Now, I did not know that you could do that. And Alexa has suddenly become kind of a big deal in my life. I hear about Alexa just about every day from a very high producing person that is in my life that is constantly implementing Alexa into, anyways, I digress. So, yes, let's talk about productivity tip. Let's talk about the biggest time suck, which is beyond social media. It's actually your email. I personally, between 8:30 last night and 7 o'clock this morning, when I actually, because I was running a little behind today, when I actually opened my email on one of my email accounts, just one, I had 157 emails from 8 o'clock last night to 7 o'clock this morning.
Yep. So I want to add something to that. So I'm both like I said, real estate and mortgage broker. Majority of lenders, I have 60 different lenders. They send me rate sheets and new programs and everything in addition to all of my real estate email. So I too will wake up with like 150 to 300 emails every morning. When I first hired my first VA, I take a deep breath because I was so a little embarrassed to admit this. I needed her to clean up 357,000 unopened emails from my email inbox. There were all of that stuff. It was the rate sheets. It was the solicitations. It was all of that stuff. And I was like, in here somewhere, if I just do a select all and unsubscribe, I'm going to lose something I actually need. Yeah. So I need you to actually go through and do this for me. And so the first few months, she worked for me. That's what she spent time doing. But it also freed up my mind to no longer see it. So, and organize it. So to your point, it is very necessary to unsubscribe from the unnecessary email using filters.
So on that note, I want to talk about, again, not trying to build Rome in a day. If you wake up, now the highest amount of emails that I've ever had is 26,000. But to be fair, that was my personal email account, my team email account, my actual Jenn at TSL's account, and an old email that I had for my company or my business. So on that note, try not to do it all in one day. Set aside 15 or 20 minutes to do this every day, and don't try to get it down from 27,000 or 20,000 down to 500 in a day, because again, money-making activities, we have to focus on how to build our career, and we have other things that we need to do. So that being said, the very first thing I want to talk about is filters. So as you go through your email and as you start to get new emails, if you're using Gmail, and I think if you're using you know what I'm talking about.
Outlook. Yeah.
Outlook. At the top, there is generally right by the subject line, a little thing that says unsubscribe. Hopefully you have that. And if you know it's something that you don't want, just immediately click it. Don't put it off till later. Do it now. Do it now. Right? Then if you find yourself overwhelmed, go to the top and click filters, which is what Katrina was just talking about, and type in the word unsubscribe. When you type in the word unsubscribe, and then it's going to show you different ways to create filters. What I would do is I would type the word unsubscribe. I would create a folder called unsubscribe, and then I would select them all and move them all from your inbox to the unsubscribe folder. And then click read all. That is immediately going to take out about 80% of all your junk. And it's going to put it into one folder that you can then hire someone to go through, or you can go through and unsubscribe every morning and delete. The problem that you're going to find is that with many, many, many ad companies, if you hit unsubscribe, and it's, unsubscribe from abcrealestate.com or that sender. I promise you that if they're a good ad company, they're going to have abcrealty.net, they're going to have abcrealty.realty, they're going to have abcrealty.info, and they're just taking your name and your email because you unsubscribed, and they're going to put it into another. So it's going to take months to actually get off their list. It should be illegal, but whatever. So that's one of the things I wanted to discuss, and how you can manage your time.
Jenn, can I add to that?
Yes.
So what I do is exactly what you said, putting it all in one folder. And then Julie asked the question, what can you hire a VA to do? Once you put it all in the folder, this will be more tedious. However, the faster way to get off them is to go to the unsubscribe button at the bottom of the individual email, to go to their website, to unsubscribe from their website. That takes more time. That is not the highest use of your time. So that is what you can have, a very inexpensive VA, someone you're only paying like $3-4 an hour. That's what they can go in there and do to possibly get off a little bit sooner. But that is do not, because I made the mistake of doing this during the pandemic and sitting at home and doing this. I should not have been spending my time doing that. So that is what you can have a VA do, is to go in there and to manually unsubscribe from the unsubscribe at the bottom, not the one that's through Gmail or Outlook at the top.
Another thing that we get, I don't know what everybody uses for contract systems, but in Colorado, the majority of us use CTM contracts. We don't use DocuSign. I think I digress, but if you're up in Fort Collins, a lot of those agents use DocuSign, but with the majority of the Denver area, we use CTM contracts. And so the thing about CTM contracts that drives me absolutely insane, especially running a team, is that every time somebody signs something, I get an email. And I don't, personally, I don't just get it on my one email because I'm on just about every contract with my team members. I get it on my personal team sales account. I get it on the team account. And before you know it, I have, 2 or 3 emails for every single signature from every single buyer, every single seller, oh my goodness. Go into your contract system and make sure that you're only getting the emails that are essential. And if you have a contract system and maybe you're a team owner or maybe you're not, I mean, this probably doesn't apply to everybody, but make sure it's only going to one account instead of getting 2 or 3. So I would say cut down on the non-essential contract emails. And that's going to take a lot of your time, I promise. I guarantee you that if you are doing real estate at all, you are getting a lot of unnecessary signature emails or access emails, stuff like that. Sorry, I had to let somebody in. So that's a great way to reduce the digital pollution in your email as well.
And add to your post-closing, if it's yourself or if it's assistant, that, hey, once we make sure everything is in our transaction management system, whether that's SkySlope, whether it's whatever it is that you're using, making sure you have it, making sure that your closing file you have all downloaded into your Dropbox or Google Drive or wherever you have it, that you keep it for your record, go in and delete all of those emails because there's no reason to hold on to them anymore. The signature one, the one that you're talking about, Jen, that, yeah, we all get every single time there's signature. Look, my TCW is on this call, and so I love her to death because she'll be like, Katrina, do you have that? Like, I don't know.
The answer is no. The answer is no. If I have a TC and she's saying, hey, did you? No, I didn't. Because
Right.
just handle it.
Yeah, which she does. God bless her. Yes.
The other thing that is really important that I think, now you run your business the way you want to, and if you're a lender, this probably doesn't apply to you. But as a real estate agent, if you have notifications for your email, like dinging every 3 seconds,
Turn them off.
turn them off. Turn them off.
Yeah.
Make a schedule for your email. There's nothing in your email. I repeat, there's nothing in your email that cannot wait 2 hours. I'm sorry. There's not. Get up in the morning, check your email, put yourself on a plan, go back at just before lunch, check your email, clear it out at the end of the day or the middle of the day, whatever you want to do, but put yourself on a regiment to check your email instead of every time that thing rings, you're going to the email. Because when you do that, you're taking away from the other things that you need to be doing. You take away from the call, the CMA, you name it. You're taking away from that because you just went down the rabbit hole of looking at an email that isn't going to make you money. So,
No. And Jen, to be honest, I will admit, and I've heard other agents say this, and it doesn't matter if you're new or older, but older as far as how long you've been in the business. But quite often, the reason why you're going to check emails is FOMO. You're the fear of missing out because, oh, what if there's a lead there? What if there's a referral there? What if, and it's like, that is because we don't have the systems in place to make sure that those leads are handled outside of our email inbox. And so that's what you want to do.
I can tell you that if you have a lead system, that lead system is absolutely texting you first. Absolutely. It's texting you first. It is not sending an email first. It texts you first and then it sends you an email. So do not have FOMO when it comes to leads. And if they do text you, you have, by the way, this is completely off subject. If you get a lead text, you have about 5 seconds to grab that lead before you lose it. That's just me, telling you the facts of life. So, social media. Let's talk about social media because I think we covered email pretty well.
Yep.
As I said, one of the biggest things about social media and business is we have to be relevant, right? We have to be in the now. if you aren't in the now, you're going to lose that. You're going to lose your past client because they're not seeing anymore. They're not, and there's different ways to overcome that. You can do newsletters, you can do this, you can do that. And, if you're in our organization, that video is a big deal and that we need to stay in front of our clients. But, if you are doing, it doesn't even matter. If you need you need to interact with your clients. And so one of my things that I do constantly is I take an hour in the morning and a couple hours right before bed, which is terrible, but I go through and I see what's happening in everybody's lives. This keeps me in the now because I comment and post on all my network referral partners stuff. I comment on my clients' stuff, and that makes me or keeps me relevant in their lives. And we've already discussed this a little bit this morning. The problem with that is, A, if you're doing it too late at night, you're not sleeping. B, if you get on in the morning and you don't stick to a regimented schedule, you're going to go down the rabbit hole. And C, I don't know anybody on this call who is not going to agree with me. If you start seeing someone else in the business doing something great, you're initially, or many of us are initially going to start comparing ourselves to them. Who has not done that?
I'm super guilty of that. There is an agent here in my area who I adore, but I even called her and told her that I was super envious of this brilliant idea she came up with for Black History Month. She has done a post every single day highlighting local small business owners that would in our mutual network every single day of highlighting their business. And I was like, why didn't I think of that?
What's up? Brilliant. It's a brilliant idea, right?
Brilliant idea.
And I promise you that at some point in that thought pattern, you said to yourself, next year, I'm going to do that. And then you started writing down ideas and you started doing this and you started doing that, which is great, right? The problem is you didn't already have that on your schedule for the day and you went down the rabbit hole. But more importantly is self-confidence. So the one thing you need in this business more than anything else, more than a listing presentation, more than a contract system, more than a TC, more than anything is self-confidence. If you can walk into a room and own the room, you'll be fine. If you could walk into a client's house and just talk and have your full confidence about you, you're going to be fine. But when you start getting in your head and listening to, as Liz Brown says, your inner voice, my name is Sally, by the way. When you start listening to Sally, you're going to lose. So that is another piece of digital pollution that really affects our productivity and everything else. So,
Jen, I have 2 tips that I've worked on to help with this.
Mm-hmm.
One, so we do our 10 video text messages in the morning, or whatever video text we want to do in the morning. I will, the night before, grab whatever the birthdays are for the next day and write those down to be able to then message them in the morning without actually going on to Facebook.
Excellent.
So that's one thing that I do. And then also, anytime I want to actually interact with anyone's actual posts, that has been time blocked to the afternoon. So interaction can be in the afternoon, but anything that I want to do first thing in the morning, that I want to make it so that I can do it off of social media. Or if I can go just directly to Messenger and not get on actual Facebook, like you said, to get into the time suck. The other thing is I want to have my own post first thing in the morning. That's automated. So videos that I need to upload myself, I don't upload those until after 10 o'clock. So I don't end up on social media first thing in the morning. So anything that needs to be done early, I automate it. And then anything I have to do personally, I do later on in the day. So I don't know if that helps anybody.
I think that helps everybody. I think just finding your rhythm and finding your schedule can really help combine. I think digital pollution is quite literally the worst thing that we have going on for us, not just in real estate, but in any career currently. Stop.
Totally agree.
I hope that I helped some of you today. Does anybody have any questions before we go away? I probably had 5 more pages to go over because it's such a huge subject, and it's kind of hard to put it into an outline and actually stay on track. So I apologize if I lost some of you there. But does anybody have any questions? Does anybody need help with any of this?
Julie had a question in the chat also, besides email, what to do for your VA. Do a brain dump. Or look at all of your things. Make a list of all the things and then look at what things you can delegate. And if you can, group them, because you said you have 2 VAs, group them into one is more social media management, as one is more admin. Then try and see if you can do that. And that'll help you start to put together your VAs. If you're worried about how to train them, start creating Loom videos or screen recordings or Zoom, any of those type of things of your processes. And then you can use those videos to train them. So I hope that helps.
And I know that we're kind of running over time right now, but if you have Trello, you can sign up for Trello. If you have a Trello account, or just go create a free one, and then you can give access to that to your VA. And I literally have a board in Trello that's brained up things we need to accomplish. I have, a policy and procedure book that we're building out. So, and you can do videos in there, you can do pictures in there, you can just type in there, and your VA and everybody on your team can access that. And you can also give it to your team if you have a team, and if they have ideas, they can jump on that as well. So Trello is a great program for putting things together, especially in long distance.
Yeah. And I actually I have a Facebook group. It's called Smarter Business with Katrina Carter. I actually did a training, I think it was last September. All my recordings are in there. So if you guys want to join my group, I did a recording on did a training on how to create processes for your VA. So I can always tag you in the post once you've joined if you're interested in that. Totally free now, nothing, anything.
All right. Next week, we will be back on Thursday, the 22nd. Yeah. I hope that you join us again, and I hope you've had some value out of today's digital pollution discussion. And thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, guys. See you next week.
If you'd like more information or to get connected to the Agent Power Huddle, join our free Facebook group. This call was designed for the agents in our EXP organization, but open to any agent from any brokerage. If you're a guest and you're interested in learning more about EXP or our specific resources within the Agent Collective, reach out to the person who invited you to this call to get more info. Produced by the Agent Collective Media Network.